A Day the Quarter Died, the video game crash of 1983. Imagine a world without video games. Hard, right? But in 1983, the video game industry almost vanished. It's called the video game crash, and it was a dark time for gamers everywhere. Arcades went quiet, consoles gathered dust, and game developers wondered what hit them. This wasn't a gradual decline, it was a full-on nosedive. What went wrong? A perfect storm of factors collided, taking the once booming industry down with it. We're talking market saturation, terrible games, and a bad economy. Picture this: arcades overflowing with games, but most of them stink. Companies were churning out consoles and cartridges faster than you could say Pac-Man. But quality? Forget about it. This crash is legendary. It's a cautionary tale about what happens when greed trumps quality. But it also sets the stage for the rebirth of gaming, with a little company called Nintendo leading the charge. Too many consoles, not enough players. The market gets saturated. By the early 80s, everyone wanted a piece of the gaming pie. Companies popped up left and right, each with its own console. Atari, ColecoVision, Intellivision, the list goes on. It was a console war, and consumers were caught in the crossfire. This flood of consoles led to market saturation. Too many choices, not enough buyers. Stores were overflowing with consoles, many of which ended up collecting dust on shelves. Adding fuel to the fire, home computers like the Commodore 64 started offering gaming capabilities. Suddenly, consoles faced stiff competition from these versatile machines. The market was cannibalizing itself. Something had to give. Crap games galore, when quality takes a nosedive. Remember those terrible games we mentioned? This is where they come in. With so many companies vying for attention, quality took a backseat to quantity. The result? A tidal wave of awful games. Games were rushed, buggy, and just plain bad. Remember E.T. the Extraterrestrial for the Atari? It's infamous for being one of the worst games ever. Atari was so desperate to cash in on the movie's success that they rushed the game out, and it bombed spectacularly. Even beloved classics like Pac-Man suffered. The Atari port of Pac-Man was a far cry from the arcade original. Glitchy graphics, poor gameplay. It was a disaster. These terrible games eroded consumer trust. Gamers, once eager to spend their quarters and allowances, became wary. Section 4. Recession Bites, the economy's impact on gaming. As if things weren't bad enough, the early 80s saw a recession hit the United States. Money was tight, and people were cutting back on non-essential spending. Guess what fell into that category? Video games. With less disposable income, gamers were less likely to shell out for new consoles and games, especially with so many subpar options flooding the market. The recession exacerbated the problems already plaguing the industry. Sales plummeted. Retailers stuck with mountains of unsold consoles and cartridges were forced to slash prices. The industry was in freefall. Of unchecked ambition. Section 6. Nintendo's Renaissance, a new era for gaming. The video game crash of 1983 was a dark time, but it wasn't the end. From the ashes rose a new era, led by a Japanese company called Nintendo. In 1985, Nintendo released the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, in the United States. With its focus on quality games, tight control over third-party developers, and innovative gameplay, the NES revived the industry. Games like Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda became instant classics, captivating a new generation of gamers. Nintendo's success proved that the demand for video games never truly vanished, but the industry needed to learn from its mistakes. The crash of 1983 serves as a reminder of the importance of quality, innovation, and respecting the consumer.